So here's what I don't understand. How is next week the season finale of American Horror Story? It seems like it just started. Like, how is next week the season finale of American Horror Story, y'all? And somebody please gonna help me out with it. Please. Somebody tell me. How is that the season finale? Like, that's it? I expect that we would at least have like 3 or 4 more episodes. But next week is the season finale? What is going on? I'm not ready for that. I'm not. Anyway, how did it begin, darling? Okay, it began with the 2 computer geeks, the 2 guys who created Miss Meat, who brought her back to life. They just sit around, talking. Evan Peters, he's going off, talking about, just dumb stuff that people do. He's irritated. He's just like, oh my gosh, I'm just so sick of this world. I'm so over it. He's throwing his coffee, acting a fool. Just kind of having a breakdown about things that irritate all of us as people. And he was just like, we just need a new, fresh start in this world. We just need to get rid of everybody. And, just create a brand new world and do it right this time. The other guy was just like, look, calm down. But we got the Antichrist here. We could just hit him up and be like, yo, Antichrist, in the world. And, he was just like, man, how do we even know that he's the Antichrist? Who the hell is he? He ain't nobody. And all that kind of stuff. And the other guy, he was just like, look, that is the Antichrist, so you might need to show some respect. Like, he's not the one. Seriously. It was just like, I don't know. Maybe you're right. So Venable ended up coming in, and she ended up saying to them, well, I checked on what y'all wanted me to check on, and everything is everything. It was just like, oh, okay, thank you. She was like, but look, one thing I want to know is basically they promised her like a certain position or whatever, and she was just like, y'all said that y'all was gonna move. I was gonna move up in this company. I was gonna have this job. I was gonna have that job. They just pretty much looked at her. It was just like, child, you ain't good enough for none of that. And she was just like, oh, okay, I'm not. Kiss my ass. And she walked on out. They was just like, oh, girl, you'll be back. They ended up talking to Miss Venable a little later on. And, basically saying, look, there's a secret alliance, okay? And, basically, we're setting up for this whole world to end, pretty much. And so, when everybody's going to be dead. But we're trying to save you. You could be in charge of this entire, alliance where you can make your own rules. You can do everything your own self. And, which ended up being, Venable, who we met, in the beginning, after the apocalypse and everything. And she created her own rules, met up with Miss Meat, etc. Obviously, Miss Meat ended up killing her, but, they're going back in the past. And she was just like, oh, okay. She was like the cooperative, a.k.a. the Illuminati. Basically people who sold their soul to the devil, etc. Y'all know the Illuminati. Let's see. So we put on over to the Coven's house. And, they're all, it's new witches coming in, and the original witches that are there, Queenie, and, what's the name, Evie? Queenie, Mallory, the girls, they're there. And, they're training the new girls, basically, as, all the witches, or all the older witches are training the new witches. And they started talking about this spell that would keep this force field out, which will keep people, demons, warlocks, it'll keep anybody out. The spell that would protect the house, right? So, they were just like, yeah, nobody could get in, because it was just like they know that Landon's coming, and he's coming to attack them and hurt them and stuff. So they ended up reciting the spell, and as they was reciting the spell, we see Adina Porter walk up. And since Marie Laveau died, she ended up being the queen of voodoo. So she came up, child. She let this whole thing down, said this whole little spell, and as the spell was complete or ending, she ended up opening the door by magic. And who ended up walking on in was Landon and Miss Meat. I was like, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. What is going on, child? Landon came up and down. You know, they was all shocked to see him. It was just like, what the hell is going on? Child, he was just like, look, I came here to basically kill y'all. I told Cordelia I was coming here to kill y'all, and that's what I'm going to do. Child. Don't you know, sister, I believe her name is Evie. I forgot her name. I always forget her name. But, don't you know that she ended up, like, throwing some glass at him, you know, through magic, and he ended up reversing that and killing all of them with that same glass. Miss Meat ended up shooting Evie up. And you know, Queenie was the only one that was alive for a while, ended up killing everybody. And so, you know, she's a human voodoo doll, so she took a piece of glass and cut her own throat, and that was meant for Miss Meat, and her throat started gushing out and stuff. But Miss Meat is pretty much a robot, so I mean, you know, one good old stitch, one good old Ziploc bag material, damn duct tape, and she good. And she had her arm is made of a gun, so she ended up shooting Queenie, everybody. I was like, Lord have mercy, what's going on in the world? So meanwhile, so they done killed just about all the witches, but who they didn't kill was Cordelia, Aunt Myrtle, Mallory, Coco, and Madison. They didn't even show Coco and Madison, but they was, you know, all up in the room together. So Cordelia ended up, you know, getting them out of there. Of course, Landon came up there. He was just like, you know, his main goal was to kill Cordelia, but he ended up, you know, not killing Cordelia because they was able to get away. Meanwhile, we have Miss Meat and Landon. They're talking, having a conversation. They're just talking about everything that's going on. You know, he's irritated. He was just like, oh, so I killed the witches, so what? And Miss Meat was just like, yes, you killed the witches, that's good, and I understand you're frustrated, but this is a process. He was like, I didn't even get to kill the main witch I wanted to kill. She was just like, but you've done good enough. Look at what you've done already. You've already got rid of some of the power. And, you know, he was just like, okay. He Sister Meat, she was just like, look, what you're thinking right now, like, I understand your frustration, but what you need to do and what we need to do right now is go to the people that created me. Let's go to those two idiots and see what they got judged up. He went to talk to the boys, and they was just like, you know, telling him about the whole Illuminati, and that's basically his cult. That's basically his army. He can control them to do whatever, and the Illuminati is the ones that's gonna end up destroying the world, because since Landon is Satan's son and they worship Landon, that means now they worship the devil, so now they look up to Landon. He was just like, if you just go there and then take care of everything. Meanwhile, we have this secret little chamber thing, which is I believe, was it the outpost? I believe. Was it? No. It was, you know, this little secret place that Landon could not get to them, or they could hide out for a while. So we got all of Madison's there, everything. You know, Cordelia, she's upset. She's really going through it because all her girls are dead. She's laying on the floor. You know, they're doing this kind of spell where she's going back into the home. And, you know, she's basically trying to get all her girls back. She goes to Evie first, can't get her, she vanishes. And she pooches over to Queenie. Can't get Queenie. I was going to say Gabourey. Can't get Queenie, and she vanishes. Madison ends up telling Cordelia, was just like, oh yeah, Well, look, you know he the Antichrist, right? And he has a whole lot of powers. So what he do is that when somebody dies, he ends up like legit taking their soul. You know, like he takes their soul to a place where they're just gone. They're just hidden. And they gone, sis. No spell, no magic trick, no hocus pocus. Nothing's gonna bring them back. Nothing. You know, Cordelia, she's upset. She's just like, oh my gosh, my girls, my babies, what's going on in the world? She was hollering. She slapped the shit out of Madison. Is really going through it. So Sister Myrtle ends up telling the people about this little story that I believe happened in like Siberia. I think it was like 1918, year 1918. There was these folks that was trying to kill this girl and her family, and she ended up saying this little prayer. She had this necklace, and she was saying this little spell that would like protect her family, whatever. They showed the guy shooting, I believe, her father or whatever, multiple times, and he wouldn't die because she was saying a spell. And basically they wanted the strongest witch they got right now, which is Mallory. They wanted Mallory to go back into that moment and say the spell with that girl, and if that works, then they know that she can bring the people back after they die. So, child, they got Madison in the tub. Madison, she's scared and nervous, and no other witch have tried this task. And if she completes the task, then great. But it's a possibility that she could die in the process. So, Aunt Myrtle ended up saying this little spell. And then she was just like, okay, Naji Ramba, whatever she said. And they laid her in the tub, child, and they ended up pushing her down. So she ended up being back in this moment. And the girl and Mallory was just like, look, can you understand what I'm saying? I'm here to help you. You saying this good old spell, but it's not working because you're not strong enough by yourself. Let me help you with it. Let me help you chant with you. And she ended up chanting the spell and everything, and ended up working somewhat. But then once it got to the girl, they ended up killing her. Period. And Mallory was brought back to life, child. She had blood leaking from her eyes. They almost killed Mallory. And Aunt Myrtle and Cordelia sitting on the porch eating bologna sandwiches, talking. It was just like, Lord, what I'm gonna do? Like, the spell almost killed Mallory. I can't ask her to go do that again just so she can bring my girls back. It was just like, I'm not ready to die, but Mallory's not going to get her full powers until I, start to expire. And Aunt Myrtle, she was just like, I'm not ready to let you go yet, darling. And so, Cordelia's just really down on herself right now. She's just really, they started talking about Fiona a little bit. I was just like, yeah, like, I really, really do miss, Fiona, in terms of not miss her and who she is, but, Fiona didn't give a damn about nothing. When Papa Legma tried to take her soul, he told her she ain't got no soul. So Cordelia, Fiona didn't give a damn about nothing. And, she says that she kind of wished that she was able to tap into her mother. So maybe we're going to get a little Fiona this season. The season finale. I heard that Angela Bassett's coming back for as Marie Laveau. I don't really know how they're going to work this out. If next week is the season finale, I don't know how they're going to smush all this in. Like, I really don't. I'm so shocked. Meanwhile, we got Landon. Landon actually goes to the Illuminati facility, talking to his meat outside of it. Went in there. It's clean in there, child. They clean up. He was just, telling them, look, I am the devil's son, and you will do what the hell I say. And we got to, develop this plan so that we can end this world. And he was just like, don't worry. I'll spare your friends and family. And they'll be safe, tucked away in a secret hideaway. So, you're going to spare their friends and family, but you don't give a damn about nobody else's, Landon. It was awful. It was just like, ooh, you something else. So actually, it was the cooperative that set out to destroy the world. So the Illuminati, they did it. Interesting. This is all Landon's plan. It seems like he's unstoppable. So I don't know how they're going to take him out. I don't. What else happened? So meanwhile, Aunt Myrtle and Cordelia, they end up going to the Warlocks facility to go and holler at them, I guess basically to try to join forces or whatever with them, get in there, and Landon done killed all the Warlocks, which I, eventually thought anyway that he would, because, there was no way. Once we saw the apocalypse, and how it started, we saw that there was no men, around, at all. So yeah, but they ended up using that facility as the facility for the, the outpost or whatever, the outpost 3, where Venable ran. So yeah, it all came together quite nicely. I enjoy it. I can't believe next week is the season finale. I don't know how they're gonna do this. I don't, but we'll see. With that said, I'm Mr. Chalaki. Is that everything? I think so. Mr. Chalaki on Google Plus. Follow me at ItsKingsWorld on Instagram and Twitter. At ItsKingsWorld89 on Snapchat. Chase King on Facebook. All that good stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe, darlings. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.